Are you not going to see Amy again? I'm on a business trip. But you haven't been home for over half a year now. The claim of my husband's business trip was a lie. He was spotted by a neighbor going into a woman's house not too far away from here. Since then, the word around town is that the prestigious family's name has been tarnished by the son's scandalous affair. Without even trying, I started to receive unsolicited updates about the affair. Apparently, the woman works at a local club and is 12 years younger than my husband. My name is Laura, and I've been married for 11 years. We never had children, and for a long time now, we felt more like roommates than a married couple. So, I suppose part of me feels that his infidelity was inevitable. I told you, I'm busy with work, didn't I? You never listen. It's because you're always buried in your books. You're just average looking, with an average figure, and no particular talents, just piling up knowledge that nobody cares about. I love books, and I've learned many things from them, but my husband always says that a woman who only reads books lacks charm. Sometimes I wonder why I married someone so incompatible. Amy, my mother-in-law, who helps me with tuition, introduced me to her son. She's the head of a distinguished family, and her previous generation made their fortune in business. Despite being a businesswoman, Amy was always generous, assisting in various causes. She was someone I admired. Marrying her son meant that I could become her daughter, in a way. I think I was more focused on that than the man I was marrying. My husband realized this, and that's probably why our relationship has never really worked. But the cooling of our marriage and how he treats his own mother are separate issues. No matter how much he takes her for granted because they're related, I can't understand how he could neglect his nearby mother for over half a year. As someone who grew up without a mother's love, I find his indifference incomprehensible, especially over the last 3 years, as Amy's chronic illness has worsened, making her daily life a struggle. I've been tending to her every day, continuing a routine of care. Amy has a sister who's still quite healthy and visits often. I enjoy my time conversing freely with the two sisters, and those moments are what I cherish the most. With the weekend looming and my Amy's birthday the next day, my husband was packing with a spring in his step. Are we going somewhere tomorrow? Huh? Oh, a business trip. On a Sunday? Huh? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's one of those things. I need to go in advance. Where to? Where to? You know, Anchorage. Wow, that's quite a trek. But tomorrow's Amy's birthday, remember? What? Oh, I haven't forgotten. There's just no helping it with a business trip. Why not delay your departure a bit and see Amy before you go? Especially since she's not feeling well lately. I can't. I've got a meeting time to catch. With whom? It's a colleague. George. You know, from my team. He's been to our house, right? I'm traveling with him. Oh, that guy. You said he's promising. Yeah, that's him. He's the son of a big client's president. But he doesn't act all high and mighty about it. A fine young man, despite his youth. I wanted to say, you're always flaunting your status as the son of a distinguished family, quite unlike you. But I held my tongue, thinking it might just spark another argument. Soon, my husband left, whistling on his way out. 2 days later, I called him. David, why aren't you answering my calls? Give me a break! I told you, I'm on a business trip! Even at night? Yes, at night too! Who's that? You know, I'm busy with receptions and such. Really? And where are you right now, David? Where? I told you, Hawaii! Hawaii? Hawaii? I thought you were going to Anchorage! Oh, right, Anchorage, it was! Anchorage, it was? Are you really in Anchorage right now? Yes, it was just a slip of the tongue. Hey, are you done yet? Hurry up. Suddenly, a coquettish female voice carried over from the other end of the line. No, that's not okay. In a fluster, my husband muffled the phone, his voice hushed as he scolded. It was clear he was with another woman. I just heard a woman's voice? What? Maybe it was a cat. Anyway, are you taking proper care of everything? Don't let Mom suffer, you hear? I'm busy with work, so you better handle the caregiving. Amy passed away. What? What are you saying? That's why I've been calling. Damn it! Why didn't you insist I see her more? You should've. I told you, over and over, that Amy wasn't feeling well. Didn't I keep saying that? Before you went on your business trip, you should have at least come to see her. I haven't seen her for half a year, and now I can't even say goodbye? Oh, what am I doing here? What do you mean here? What, did the old lady kick the bucket? Shut up, just be quiet. I have been quiet all this time. After you left for your trip, I was the one who'd take care of her. She could still talk then, but after that, she took a turn for the worse. She had a peaceful look at the end, like she was just sleeping. I'll be right back. What? But aren't there no more flights from Anchorage at this time? I'll be back in 15 minutes. Huh? I'm actually just around the corner. Back at the family home, the funeral was about to begin. Having the funeral at home made the costs high. However, her sister and I wanted to give Amy a fitting farewell, as she had contributed to the community both economically and spiritually for many years. Honoring Amy's well-regarded reputation, hundreds had come to pay their respects. The sudden news brought some to cling to the coffin, breaking down in tears. It was clear just how beloved Amy was by many. 15 minutes later, my husband arrived at the family home. What's with this grand funeral? We could have just done it at the church. I'm sorry, David, but Amy was a pillar of the community. Oh, this is just a waste of money. What are you talking about? It was Aunt Elizabeth who had cut in. Aunt Elizabeth's personality was straightforward, unlike Amy. My husband had always found his stern aunt a bit intimidating. Aunt Elizabeth, it's been a while. I was just saying to Amy how I've almost forgotten David's face. This is a funeral for a family that's contributed to the local community. Of course it should be at home. And to think, this foolish son lying about being on a business trip when he's just been cheating the whole time. Aunt Elizabeth, what are you talking about? I really was on a business trip. Don't even try it. Even this old lady knows you can't make it from Anchorage in 15 minutes. Plus, every Tom, Dick, and Harry knows about you hanging around that club girl's condo. What? The room erupted in snickers. David, just give up already. George, why are you here? I'm sorry. You didn't answer your phone, no matter how many times I called. So I reached out to George, who you said was with you. You shouldn't have interfered. Laura only did what was right, as the funeral's representative. Representative? Why Laura? I've returned, so I should be the... Aunt Elizabeth interrupted my husband and declared to those gathered, Everyone, please listen. According to Amy's will, this house will not go to David, but to Laura. Respect her as such from now on. What? What are you talking about, Aunt Elizabeth? I'm the eldest son of this house, and she's my wife. Look at this, David. These are Amy's last words. Aunt Elizabeth pressed a button on the monitor. Amy's image appeared on the large screen. Seeing Amy as she was, tears that had been stopped by the bustle of the funeral started flowing again. Laura, thank you for everything. David, I heard about your affairs with club girls and your betrayal of Laura. It's a public fact known by the locals, and I am deeply disappointed in you. David, you didn't even visit me in my final days. I interpret that as you being too guilty to face me. I blame myself for raising such a foolish man, my only son, who was born when I was older. Laura, I am truly sorry. Amy? David, I have given up on leaving you any inheritance. According to the lawyer, your rightful share has been compensated by what I already gave you for your study in England and the condo purchase. And just now, I've completed the adoption process with Laura. She is officially the heir of our family. Here, I declare that all my estate is to be inherited by Laura, and these are the documents. Amy pointed to a stack of papers on the table. Amy? Mom, why? Didn't you love me? Months ago, after a beloved bath, combing my hair, Amy turned to me and expressed her gratitude. Laura, I truly appreciate it. Thanks to you, I've been able to enjoy such happy times. I also treasure these peaceful moments with Amy more than anything. More than the times with David. I'm grateful to David for letting me become part of this family with Amy. A few days after such an exchange, Amy proposed that I should officially become her adopted daughter. Looking back, she must have been investigating my husband's conduct during that time. I refused at first, of course. Having lost my biological mother early and raised by men, Amy was like a real mother to me. Please, Laura, I think of you as my own daughter. The thought of becoming the daughter of the Amy I so admired made me agree, never suspecting it was to make me her successor. In the video, Amy continued, I did make quite a few demands on Laura. Amy certainly had her stubborn moments. 3 years ago, when her chronic illness worsened, she was advised by her husband and relatives to enter a facility. But no matter how much we persuaded, she refused and wanted to be cared for at home. And she designated me, her only son's wife, as the caregiver. This meant I had to quit my job at the library to take care of Amy. I loved being a librarian, and at first I felt cut off from social interactions and got quite depressed. Plus, taking care of a large-framed Amy was physically demanding at times. But thanks to Amy's appreciation and the support from my aunt, other relatives, and neighbors, I managed to pull through for 3 years. Laura, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to test you. But inheriting a house is not just about blood ties. You need to have qualities that everyone recognizes. A cheerful and honest nature, rich knowledge, the endurance to withstand hardship, and, above all, the calm judgment that's needed when it's most important. You've proven all these qualities splendidly over these 3 years. Not just in my eyes, but the unanimous support from all the relatives shows this too. So please, take pride in preserving and keeping this home. When I lifted my tearful face, all the relatives were nodding with warm gazes. Thank you so much. I will do my utmost. Please continue to support me. I declared to all the relatives. Having lost both my parents, I used to be an orphan, all alone in the world. Now to be supported by so many people, it's like a dream. What are you giving a speech for, you orphan? Getting all smug just because you charmed Mom? David, be quiet! What is with that tone? Laura is the rightful heir, chosen by Amy and acknowledged by the family. Even if you're her husband, she's not someone you can be rude to. That's right, David. Give it up. You've been too carefree. Another relative chimed in. Exactly! Fooled by that mistress into shady resort development? Foolish son. Resort development? The room buzzed with relatives murmuring in disbelief at David. You mean you didn't know? You really thought such a young woman liked you for you? Heads nodded and laughter erupted among the crowd. We shouldn't laugh in the presence of the deceased. David, that woman was a professional. Look! Saying this, they showed a photo on their mobile phone. It was his mistress, clinging to a man with a tall frame. Long hair pulled back, tattoos, and large sunglasses. Mafia-esque. Clearly, she approached you only for this family's land. Once you inherited from Amy, she'd have taken it all. You'd be stripped of everything, left like trash. He's a shady character. Might have ended up at the bottom of the sea. Without a body, it's not a crime, just a disappearance. Eek! The on-screen Amy continued. And David, you'll probably blame me after seeing this, but understand this is the consequence of drowning in women and deceiving Laura and everyone else. It's not too late. Work honestly and live by your own means. Mom. I finally understand why Amy left everything to me. She cherished you, trying to protect you from the mistress and the mafia behind her. Amy said when making this video, David might rage, but don't abandon him. Tears were streaming down the husband's face. Mom, I'm sorry. Laura, it was wrong of me to lie and deceive you. Laura, your dream of revitalizing this area, the stories you shared, they thrilled my heart. You can do it. I'm always watching over you. Months later, we divorced. I left all the savings and securities to him. Elizabeth and the others opposed it, but I had no interest in money. There was just one condition to my leaving the finances to him, that he would never interfere with what I would do with our land. First, I established an agricultural corporation. I consolidated all the local farms, eliminating fallow land. We handle everything in-house, from planting to harvesting and processing. Plus, we went all out, opening restaurants, inns, and hotels, and selling our produce online. In the mountains, we built facilities where you can enjoy camping without bringing anything. Complete with shuttle limousines from the city, campsites, and athletic facilities. We advanced afforestation of mixed woods and used thinned-out timber to construct trekking paths that wind through the treetops. While maintaining the forest, we established a system that generates revenue. Our TV and social media strategies were a hit, turning a tidy profit in the first year. Our agricultural corporation rose to become a sprawling leisure farmland just outside the city. What I did resembles resort development. However, I channeled the profits back to the employees. I made it possible for them to work as long as they are healthy, and when they choose, they can spend their retirement in luxury. No worries about old age, no loneliness. They can keep doing meaningful work, no matter their age. In this system, chasing excess profits is pointless. Thus, our staff became genuinely committed to increasing customer satisfaction. Happy customers come back, bringing friends. Profits increase, employees benefit. A positive cycle began. First, the elderly grew wealthy, making headlines as the region of seniors earning over $100,000. Seeing their parents thrive, the next generation of parents returned. Young folks from other areas, hearing the buzz, moved in, boosting the population. Children's laughter filled the air. As for me, I remarried. To George, of all people. Together, we went to inform my ex-husband. Seeing him for the first time in 5 years, he had lost his once prominent belly, looking worn down. The rumors were true. Deserted by the affair partner who was only after resort development, he'd become reckless, squandering his entire fortune on gambling. You sure moved up in the world, snatching my land and now you're a CEO, huh? I inherited it from Mother. Unlike you, I wasn't mentioned in the will, yet you inherited the cash. Bank deposits, securities, a significant amount, wasn't it? Playing the saint with no interest in money, huh? How much are you making now? My assets are exactly as declared, around $100,000. Huh, no way! You think I'm a fool? It's not just farm produce. We're talking about hotels, pensions, campgrounds, a whole resort offering every kind of leisure. That's actually true. We have a system where the profits go back to the employees. Laura, I told you, didn't I? There's no value in greeting someone like him. What do you mean by someone like him? After all, what do you, a former subordinate, want with me? We're getting married? Actually, Laura proposed 6 months after her divorce, but I had to wait 5 years. Today, we came to announce our marriage, and one more thing. What's this one more thing? I came to thank you. I lived, as you said, buried in books, not applying the knowledge. I had a dream to give back to this region that raised me, but even wanting to make it real, I had no land, no money to buy any. When I married you, I almost gave up, thought about dropping my dreams for cookbooks instead of economic journals to become a good wife. But because you ran off with another woman, calling me a woman with knowledge but no charm, I didn't give up on my dream. It's thanks to you, so thank you. You haven't visited Mother's grave once since then, have you? Which means we probably won't meet again. I just wanted to say thanks. Hey, is that all? Then give me something! Hey! Laura! Ignoring the shouts of her ex-husband, she was prompted by George and stepped outside. There, the chirping of small birds filled the air. Returning home, the scene unfolded, lively as ever, unrecognizable from Mother's days. Maybe Mother in Heaven is watching over this. I think continuing to serve the smiles of our community is the best way to repay Mother for the inheritance she left me.